Former Washington Capitals coach Bruce Boudreau has been fired by the Vancouver Canucks.
Hey you guys, how's it going? It's a really dark time as a Vancouver Canucks fan, which I am. I've been a Vancouver Canucks fan for quite a while now. I think we're going on almost 10, 11 years maybe, since I was around 14, 15 years old. I don't even know what year that kind of like makes me a fan at, but I want to talk about the whole Vancouver Canucks situation and just kind of my opinion on it. I've been seeing people talk about this topic and their opinions, mainly Canucks fans, and it hasn't been good. A lot of them have a very strong opinion on everything that's going on here. I do think I have a little bit of a different opinion than some Canucks fans, so I really want to talk about my opinion on the whole situation. And I'm talking the whole Bruce Boudreau thing. I'm talking the future thing. I'm talking the hiring of the new coach. I'm talking kind of everything here. I'm going to try my best to do this all in one take. Normally I can't because I just ramble on and then I stutter or I sound like a moron. But I'm going to try in this video just because I just don't want a ton of edits. I want this to be completely authentic. I'm just thinking off the head here, off to the dome here. I'm not even going to write anything down or anything. I'm just going to kind of spew out what I'm thinking. So if you guys are unaware, the Vancouver Canucks did fire Bruce Boudreau, and there's a couple things I want to talk about with this topic. One being, I don't necessarily think Bruce Boudreau was done fair in Vancouver. Now, I'm not talking about the firing. I know a lot of people have an opinion on that, and I will get to that. I more so mean when it comes to the personnel of the team. So Bruce Boudreau last year ended up turning Vancouver into a very fun and exciting team towards the end of the year, where we started to pick back up and attempt to make the playoffs. Now, one of the biggest things for us last year in that run was how good our offense was looking and how still kind of poor our defense was, but we were making up for it with Thatcher Demko playing unbelievable. Thatcher Demko had a really good season last year, as well as our forwards, but our defense still struggled. Well, the start of this year kind of continued that, except the only difference is Demko didn't have a stellar season. He's hurt. He's been hurt for a while now, but none of our goalies this year have been phenomenal, and that has allowed a lot of our defensive problems to kind of showcase and come forward, which I think the problem is Rutherford said that we don't have structure and that Boudreau wasn't coaching any structure, especially defensively, which if that is the case, which I do think it kind of is the case. You could tell by Bruce Boudreau, the moment he came in, we forgot about defense and focused on offense, which I think wasn't a bad thing. He was coaching to our strengths. I think Travis Green was trying to cover up a lot of our defensive mistakes by playing more defensive. But if you have guys who just are shit at defense, sorry for my bad language, if you have guys that are just bad at defense, focusing on it, in my opinion, isn't going to fix it. It's like slapping a band-aid on something. It's not going to fix it. It might temporarily fix it for a couple games, but it's not going to be permanent. They just suck at defense. It is what it is. So Boudreau saw that, and I think he focused mainly on what our strengths were, which is offense, and he just funneled everything into that, which I don't think necessarily was a bad thing. Also, Rutherford did talk to him about structure, but also didn't kind of follow up and help him. He didn't give him any added help at all. He didn't go out and make a trade. One of the biggest talks this offseason was how bad our defense was. So what did we do? We signed 2 forwards. We didn't even get a defenseman. We finally got Ethan Bear, but like at that point we're already a bit into the season. In my opinion, the biggest thing that we needed as a team was better defense, and Rutherford and Alvin failed to provide that for Bruce Boudreau. So the fact any of this is put on him, in my opinion, is absolutely dumb. I don't think any of this falls on Boudreau at all. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the firing. I have a couple opinions on it. One being, I do think some of it was a little bit drawn out. Like, don't get me wrong, what they did kind of wasn't fair for Bruce, but it's also kind of the job. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. It's the job. Bruce was hired to be the coach until the end of the year, so his job was to show up and do that until he was told otherwise. And if any of these leaks don't get out, then Bruce doesn't know they're shopping for another coach until he's finally fired, and then he figures it out. And that's kind of how it goes. Like, when the Canucks hired Bruce Boudreau, there was a little bit of speculation before Travis Green was fired that the Canucks were going to hire Bruce Boudreau once in a couple days or whatever it may be. It was a few days before the firing actually happened. In my opinion, that's okay. But the fact these leaks got out like weeks in advance is definitely a problem. Like, I don't know if people are just getting really good at stalking what the Canucks are doing, or if they're just not even trying to hide it at all and just be super, not even trying to hide it. They're just open with it. Which is a problem in my opinion. I think they should definitely be trying to keep this under wraps so nobody knows about it until the final decision is actually made. That way things don't kind of escalate to the way they have. So I kind of see it both ways. I see it definitely being a problem in the fact that those leaks shouldn't have got out in the first place, but I kind of also see it being drawn out, like definitely super drawn out. Also, I think if you have a coach that just doesn't show emotion like Bruce, it's probably also not that big of a deal. Like if you have a guy like, I don't know, someone who just isn't as in love with the game as Bruce, you can tell he loves the game so much. And if you just have someone that doesn't show that emotion and just stays quiet, goes to the arena, then probably not a lot of this is a big deal. A lot of it was because of the emotion Bruce was showing and just how much he loves the game, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that's bad. That's good. That's who he is. And I that's why I love Bruce. Like, Bruce is probably my favorite coach, and whatever team he goes to next, which I hope he goes to another team, I'm going to cheer for that team just because I like him so much in his time in Vancouver. He's been my favorite coach the Canucks have ever had other than Ali Vigneault. And I only like Ali Vigneault. Well, I like Ali Vigneault, but the success he brought was a main catalyst as to why I still like him. And I do think Bruce is just phenomenal. But I still think if he didn't show the emotion he did all the time, he just didn't show that, it wouldn't be as big of a deal in my opinion. Obviously, it still wouldn't look good, but it wouldn't be that bad. Now, I'm seeing Canucks fans just saying they're not going to support the team at all, blah, 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 blah. And in my opinion, I can't do that, okay? I don't care how bad management is. This is my team, you know, like this is the team I cheer for. I can't see myself cheering for another team. I love hockey, so I'm going to keep watching, and I just can't abandon them like that. I may not agree with what management's doing, and I mean, I can't even say I disagree with what management's doing. I disagree with kind of the way the whole Boudreau thing was handled in a package just as a whole, but I don't solely blame Rutherford or Alvin or even our owner for that matter. Like, obviously our owner needs to be fired. He needs to be gone. He doesn't know what to do with this team. We need to rebuild. He doesn't want to do that. It's causing a whole problem. But I can't just abandon my team like this. I'm still going to support the team. I'm not going to support ownership. I'm not going to support general managers. I'm going to support the team. I'm going to support the players. I still love the players on the team. I like our team. I like a lot of players on this team, and I'm not just going to abandon them because of what the ownership's doing. In my opinion, that's just not fair. Those guys got to ride through it. I'm riding through it with them. Like, I don't care what the situation is. They got to play for that ownership. So I'm also going to support those players playing for that ownership. I'm not abandoning this team at all. I understand some people not wanting to go to games or buying jerseys and stuff like that. I don't even care. In my opinion, I think they could lose jersey sales and it's not going to change a damn thing, in my opinion. So their new alternate, I still want to buy it. I don't even care. Like, it's a nice jersey. I like it. But I don't know. I'm seeing fans just completely jump ship, which in my opinion is not necessarily the right thing to do. I know we're all kind of losing full and just going crazy over what's been happening in Vancouver lately, but I don't think just abandoning the team altogether is necessarily the right thing to do. We want people to still come and play for Vancouver, and right now the only thing, if it's not management, the only thing they got are fans. So in my opinion, fans have to show out and show why it's so good to play in Vancouver, which I think they absolutely did. We did for sure with Boudreau. Like, how many other teams and fan bases are cheering for a coach like that? I think we got to continue to do that for the players and show the support and make players want to play here, because if they don't want to play here for the ownership, then hopefully they want to play here for the fan base. That's kind of like all we got going for us right now. But that's just my opinion. This was a whole rant. Like, I don't even expect everyone to have made it through this entire video, but if you did, you're a legend. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, it means a lot if you subscribe. Like the video if you enjoyed. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.